Okay, let's get started. Free Media Goo is the showcase today. Tyler Parkinson is the seller. Tyler, you've said hello, and now we'll get going.
Sounds good.
Okay, first we have to take a look at this little slide. If you have any questions, please use the GoToWebinar software to the right of your screen. Type in your question, I'll see it, I'll try to work it in during the interview, and if we don't work it in during the interview, there's going to be a question and answer period at the end. So, the next slide here describes the deal. Annual revenue of $9,500, low expenses, annual profit of almost $9,500, and the current asking price is $49,000. This is the front page, the landing page of Free Media Goo. Tyler, would you please give us an introduction? Tell us about your site. When did you start it? Why did you start it?
Well, I started Free Media Goo when I was in college. I guess it's been about 10 to 12 years ago. It started off just as a digital assets website. As I was doing photography and stuff, I decided to start posting this stuff online and just giving it away for free. And it caught on fairly quickly because of the nature of the business. Back then, you couldn't really find a lot of free stock photography online, and so and it took off pretty quickly. And as I just continued to gather assets for that and shared it with the world, pretty much.
Okay, now where do you get your assets?
This is all the stuff that I've created, either through photography or using 3D programs to generate the content. And that's the pictures you're seeing on the front page right now. All but one of them is actually photography. The rest of them are 3D generated content.
Have you ever bought any content?
No, I have not. This is all original content from me.
Do you have people you work with, or is all of this your content, so that
yes,
the new owner would have to also supply content, or are you available to create content?
I wouldn't be available to create content, but yes, all this, I don't work with anybody else. So this is all original content, including the website.
Okay, this is some Google Analytics showing your traffic. Tell us where you get your traffic, and what it looks like on a pretty regular basis.
Well, what's interesting about this site is the majority of the traffic is actually from organic links. That's slowly increased throughout the years. Almost none of this comes from search engines. So this is all, one of the things about search engines is it can be pretty volatile. So you can be ranked number one day, and then you could drop down to the second page the next day, depending on Google's algorithms. So that's one of the things that I liked about this site, is that all the links have been naturally created over time. There's no link building that's been used for this site. And another interesting thing about when you had the slide before is that most of the traffic comes during the week. You see how it drops on the weekends? Well, I've gathered some information about this just through talking with people throughout the years. Most of this comes from schools. universities that are using this site to create this content. And so, of course, on the weekends, they're not online using it. So that's possibly a way to target an audience and the demographics for this site. But that's just from my assumptions and just from information I've gathered throughout the years.
Talk a little bit about your traffic here. I notice in December it dropped down a couple of thousand, and it occasionally in June again. I guess that has something to do with students being off on vacation.
Yeah, it could be holidays. I'd have to look at that for a whole month of December to see, but that's kind of what I'm thinking, is it's probably holidays that it drops some. But it usually stays pretty regular with the traffic throughout the months.
And how do you make your revenue off of this?
I'm only using AdSense, just using a few ads on each page of the site. I did a redesign of the site a few years back, and then since then I've been continually optimizing the AdSense. And you see on 8/13 that it starts to really climb. And I hit that sweet point with AdSense and started generating more revenue. Traffic really hadn't changed. It's just the click-throughs, the way the ads were placed, the click-throughs increased dramatically.
And your expenses jumped up recently. What was, or in March of this year? So, what was that?
I was I was running on a shared host before, or a dedicated host, but I was sharing it across multiple websites. And what I did in March is I actually moved the site over to Windows Azure, which is a cloud-based hosting platform. So I no longer have to worry about hardware failure. That's one of my main things I wanted to get out of the way, is not having to worry about hardware failing on me. So it's all cloud-based hosting now, and I can, expand it, if traffic increases. So it's pretty convenient for me to manage the site now like that.
So let's go back to revenue. What is revenue this month? Is it has it declined since children are off on school holiday?
No, revenue. I'm going to go into AdSense right now. Let's see here. And revenue hasn't decreased at all. I'm still on target to reach my monthly goal.
And what is your monthly goal?
Around $1,000.
Okay. Let's go. Why don't you tell me a little bit about what it's like to operate this site? When you have a graphic, a photograph, or whatever that you want to put up, how do you go about populating the site with content?
Well, in the beginning, I had the site running off a database. And I was using old ASP, and I had a lot of problems with, trying to change content and customize content for SEO. And this, like I said, just recently, last year, I believe, I did a complete redesign. And the focus on this redesign was to go back to the basics. And it's all HTML driven. There's no database. There is embedded tags for example, when you click on to view an image, it's only actually using one page. There's not hundreds of pages out there to display that one image. It's using one image, and it's using a query string to populate that page with the image and the download link. And the day-to-day operations, one of the reasons I'm selling the site is I just don't have time. I haven't added any new content in a while. The only thing I've really done is updated the site. With my current job and stuff, I just can't. I can't spend the time on this site anymore.
Well,
yeah.
How is a new buyer going to come up with content for the site? How would you suggest? Would it be more appropriate if the buyer was an artist or purchase content? I mean, your content is really unique, and clearly it's drawing people even though you haven't updated it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've thought about this in the past. There's sites out there. I think one of them is called stockhook.com that they actually sell photos, thousands of photos that also gives you resale rights. So in other words, you can use those photos you can purchase those photos and then reuse them on Free Media Goo to create your own library. And the other thing is, I don't know if you've heard of all these website clones now. Like you have an Instagram clone, and you have I can't think of the other ones, but there's sites out there now that you pay a few $100s, and you can have your own database-driven content managed site. And so that's a thought I had in the past too, was to actually purchase one of these clones or content creation sites that allow me to host all these images, and then just redirect Free Media Goo to the new site. And then that way, you'd have the opportunity to continue to grow the site with the content that you can purchase through other resellers.
Now, do you have an idea of the approximate cost of this that you just described?
Oh, for the clone websites?
Yes.
Is that what you were referring to?
Yes, yes.
I've seen them anywhere from $200 up to a couple of $1,000. And
Okay.
If you do a Google search on stock photography clone website, there's quite a few out there.
All right. Now, where do you think this can go in terms of what the new owner can expect in terms of making revenues, expanding the services?
Well, Free Media Goo is started off as a site for offering free content. The only revenue from it currently is through AdSense, clicking on ads. So there's a lot of potential for additional revenue through offering premier services for purchased content, from images, videos, audio files, because the name itself, Free Media Goo, it doesn't force us to be in one specific area with content. It can range from photos to video files to any really content that people out there want to use in their own projects and video productions or whatever it might be.
Do you happen to know what kind of schools are linking to you? Are they colleges? Are they high school photography classes or computer classes?
I don't. I think the last person I talked to several years ago, I think he was at a college, and he was, one of the reasons I found out is he actually emailed me directly, and this was actually to make sure, was it okay that I use your content? And of course, I told him, yeah, you can use it. And he was at a college, and he was working on some project that he wanted to use Free Media Goose content for. But other than that, it's just been, from feedback from people, and then obviously the way the statistics are running right now, where the weekends it drops. So that's the only way that I've been able to come to that conclusion.
Well, this is really,
to me, at least.
You have really a pretty popular site here. Do you have a mailing list of any sort? Or do you collect any of the emails, or?
Yeah, down on the bottom of the site, I have where people fill out a mailing list, and that just populates into a text file. And I think I have about 100 to 200 emails in there that and that's only been since I launched the redesign of the site. And of course, those emails, can transfer with Free Media Goo.
What about your social media presence?
Yeah, social media. Let me jump on here real quick and take a look and see where my numbers are at. Yeah, I've got 3,264 likes so far on the freemediagoo.com's Facebook page.
Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So you really do have a window into a student population here, and it looks like it's really stable over quite a period of time.
Yeah, it's only continued to grow. There hasn't been any drastic increases in growth because I haven't marketed, I haven't really done anything with this site. This has just only come from people finding the site and sharing it with other people that the growth has come from.
All right. So talk a little more about how you could help the buyer understand your site, understand the type of content that is appealing, because obviously you have content that is very appealing to quite a number of people who keep coming back and coming back. This is something that would be very important. How long would you be available to work with the new buyer?
I think I would be available at least a month, to help the buyer get started. One of the things that I see Free Media Goo as is a launching platform to grow Free Media Goo. I've never had the resources to really push Free Media Goo to the next level. And so I think, with the right buyer, they could really turn this into, a really fabulous site.
What would you do if you had resources? If you kept the site and you could do with it as you please?
I think I would go down that route of generating a site, purchasing content, because one of the things about this content, it's time consuming, especially, I'm doing this on my own. But, there's so many opportunities out there to purchase content that you can then resell. It's pretty amazing. And I think if I were to continue with this site, I'd probably go that route. And then also marketing it. There's always something about, when you're able to invest some money into marketing, it can go a long way. And then the other side of it is there's a lot of opportunities to optimize this site for search engines. I developed the redesign to be able to better optimize itself for search engines, but I've just never had the time to really dig in and optimize itself to start ranking in search results for different keywords. And one of the things that Google looks at is how many links are linking to your site. Now, see, I think that's going to even help rankings even better once somebody has the opportunity to go in there and really start optimizing keywords for the site.
Have you had any problem links?
No. You mean bad links to the site, or?
Well, yeah. People linking that you don't want, ones that are not attractive to the search engines.
Yeah, I did a few years back. I did one of those where you buy in and they do a search on all the links and stuff, and to see if there's any negative links towards it. I didn't fully understand that whole process, but I didn't see anything that threw any red flags for myself as far as links linking to the site. I've never used any type of link exchange or anything to develop these links, so all these links that I'm seeing come to my site is natural links.
So tell us why you're selling this beautiful site.
I just don't have time. I'm a full-time developer, and I just can't. I would love to spend more time with this, but I just can't make it happen. This is one of my first sites that I got started early on, and I just don't have the time or the resources to really grow it from here.
Well, you've done an excellent job so far.
Thank you.
Are there any questions out there before Tyler goes back to his real life? We're sitting here in our virtual life trying to figure out Citrix software here from time to time. They must have made a change.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you all for attending. And if you have any questions, please refer them to Eric at latonas.com, Eric Layton. He'll be absolutely delighted to help you out. And thank you, everybody, for attending. Good day.